Good morning, afternoon and evening all, this is Yorkie, I hope you're doing well. Today we have episode 20 of my in-depth track guide series, this week at Brazil. It's the final track on the F1 calendar that I'm yet to cover, so let's jump straight in. Okay, so that was the hot lap, let's move on to the breakdown. As soon as you get control of the car, you need to be on the brakes and start downshifting as we come into this left-hander before this start-finish straight. Basically you just need to get a nice smooth exit, get on the power, open up your DRS and drain all your curves as you come towards the start-finish line. As we approach the finish line, you want to shift the brake bias into the rear, ready for turn 1, and you want to be on the right-hand side of the track as we look for our braking point at the 50-metre board. It's pretty easy to lock your front left wheel as you come into this corner, as there is a bit of braking whilst turning. That's why we're using the brake bias. But we're going to brake hard, we're going to shift down into second gear, we're going to turn the car in relatively late, and you basically want to clip the front left wheel just on the curb roughly here. You want to clip it, the apex on the curb, quite late, as it will give you a nice wider line for turn 2 as we come through the centre S's. You basically want to throw the car in, you want to run over the curb, try not to take too much curb as I did here, but you want to take a little bit less than this. Clip your front right wheel at this point here and come over to the left hand side of the track, open up your DRS as soon as possible as we come through this long left hander of turn 3. You're basically just going to keep the car completely flat out. You want to slowly bring the car to the right hand side of the track, shift the brake bias back up into neutral as we now come down into turn 4. Our braking point is about 80 metres at the start of the concrete on the right hand side of the track. Using this, we're going to brake, we're going to shift down into third gear. The res will run high as you run into third gear, but we're just going to get on the power as we come into the corner. You want to clip the front left wheel on the curb just here. You basically just want to try and balance the throttle upon the exit. Get on the power as soon as possible as you come out. Run the curb on the outside. Open up your DRS as we come into turn 5, this very shallow left-hander. Basically completely flat out, no problems through there. Turn 6. It's a short stab on the brake at the 50-metre board. It's just going to be a quick stab. And shift down 2 gears into 5th gear. You're going to throw the car in. You basically want to clip the curb on the inside for the first part, roughly clipping your front right wheel at the apex just here. As we come through, we're going to let the car drift towards the middle of the track. We're then going to bring it back in again, ready for turn 7. And once again clipping our point just here, trying to avoid the curb on the inside. As we come out through the exit, you're going to let the car run out wide, but you don't want to take too much curb on the exit. You're going to keep your DRS relatively shut. You can open it momentarily, but our braking point is pretty much straight away here, ready for the tight turn 8. You're going to shift down into second gear, maybe first if you need it. And we're going to turn the car in. We're going to just balance the throttle. You want to clip your front right wheel up on the curb just here. You can take plenty of curb through this corner as it gives us a nice good exit. Ready for turn 9. So coming down the hill now, we're going to try and keep the car towards the middle of the track. We're then going to bring the car in towards the curb on the inside for turn 9. And you basically just want to clip your front left wheel at this point here. You don't really want to run the curb on the inside, you just want to get as close to it as possible. Now coming out through the exit, you need to get on the power as soon as possible. You get on the power hard, open up the DRS, shift the brake bias to the rear, and we're going to look for our braking point into turn 10. That's at the start of the curbing on the right hand side here. This is a very easy corner to lock the front right wheel, so shifting the brake bias to the rear will aid us in that. You basically just want to shift down into first gear, you're going to turn the car in, you're able to get your front right wheel as close to this point as possible. You don't necessarily need to run the curb, but clipping it nicely will give you a good smooth exit. You just need to get on the power, open up your DRS. You can keep your DRS completely open if you've got a wheel. You've got to get the right line though and just get the right steering angle. You're going to shift the brake bias back up into neutral as you accidentally run the curb on the outside, and as soon as you see that sector split up on the top right hand side of the screen there pop up, that's our braking point for turn 12. So hitting that, we're going to brake down into second gear. We're going to turn the car in. You want to try and just clip the curb on the inside, you don't want to run it too much as it's quite a high curb and it can send you out wide. So just kissing this quite nicely. We're going to let the car drift over out to the outside of the track, run the curb on the exit. You're going to open up your DRS and then you're going to drain the rest of your curves as you come down this long start finish straight. It's not really a straight, it's just a shallow long left-hander, 2 parts. But as we come over towards the start finish line now, we're going to keep to the left hand side of the track, so the shortest route to complete your lap. So for some general tips, as we come out the tight right hander of turn 10 and come into turn 11, I forgot to mention, drain about 15% of your curves. Just coming out that exit, it will give you a little bit of a boost, accelerate quicker, and then obviously drain the rest of your curves as you come down the start finish straight. Other than that, it's just about shifting your brake bias around to the rear and also neutral. So basically just aid in getting the car slowed down without locking the front wheels in those corners that you do quite easily lock those front wheels. So turn 1 and turn 10 are the 2 big problem areas for me, so I'll shift the brake bias into rear for those 2 corners. That concludes this episode of the in-depth track guide series. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, hopefully you guys have enjoyed the series, but don't forget to leave a comment, any ratings, and of course don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content in the future. Hope to see you soon guys, take care.